Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So given the rise of new players in 2042, I decided to make a new series of videos for specialists, basically telling those new players and even some experienced players how to play a specific specialist. And today we're going to start with Zain, my favorite specialist in Assault class. Basically, we're going to talk about the gadgets, the special trait that it has, things you have to consider doing, things you have to consider not doing, and basically everything I've learned playing with Zain, playing with his gadgets, and all those kind of stuff. So that's how the video is going to be. It's going to be a definitive guide on Zain and how to play it. But before we start, if you guys have anything to say about Zain, if there is some sort of experience you have and want to share with other people, you make sure to comment down below. Let me know what that is. And I hope the comment section of this video is also an informative place for people, especially those new players, to learn a few things from the experienced players. So without further ado, let's just get started and see what you've got here. So about Zain, guys, we're going to start with the specialist gadget. It's called the XM370A. It's basically an air burst rifle, which is effective at flushing enemy infantry out from behind cover. This actually works in game modes that people have to basically start populating behind certain covers and certain objects. That way you can take them out all at once. I do know that I've landed like 6 kills with the 5 bursts that this weapon provides, and it really can be effective, especially in some specific game modes, and we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about how this works because this might be a little bit tricky. I'm going to show it to you in just a few seconds. The specialist trait for Zain is called Perseverance, and it's going to give you a health recovery after you get a kill. So here's how it works. Say you're going into a gunfight, you take damage, your HP drops to like 20, 30, whatever, and you get the kill. As soon as you get the kill, your health basically starts to recover, and that health recovery process actually starts to happen in a quicker way. It really is effective as a assault specialist because it gives you the edge in gunfights. You get into a gunfight, you take damage, you get the kill, and you immediately start recovering health and ready to be in another gunfight. So this really helps a lot as an assault specialist, and I have to say it's really powerful. One of the main things that makes Zain actually stand out as an operator. Not a lot of people play Zain. You literally don't come across a lot of people playing Zain because, well, it's just a bit harder. It needs some getting used to. It takes just a bit more skill compared to something like, for example, Dozer or Sundance maybe. Not even Dozer, probably Sundance, because Dozer also needs a lot of skill, in my opinion. And that's why people don't really play Zain that much. You don't really come across a lot of Zain players nowadays. Now let me quickly show you how the gadget actually works. This is the XM370A that I'm holding right now. It basically works like this. Say, for example, there are people behind that cover right there, okay? First of all, this works only in under 100 meters, meaning the maximum range for this gadget is going to be 100 meters. Go above that and it doesn't really work, so you can't mark your targets. So on PC, as you can see, there's a prompt coming here, update air burst range, okay? And that happens with pressing V on PC, so I don't really know what that is for console. But when you press V, that's the target right there. So it's going to go past that object that I just marked, and it's going to blow up. And it will take only 3 of these bursts to finish off an enemy, regardless of them wearing like body armor or anything. It's gonna take 3 bursts to finish them off. Even if there are like a lot of people back there taking less damage from you, you have 5 bursts, and that's probably enough for anyone being behind that cover, okay? So as soon as you start shooting, there's a cooldown on the bottom right, and by the end of that cooldown, you have again 5 burst rounds ready to roll again. So this is basically how the gadget works. Now you're probably thinking right now that, hey, this isn't really that hard, you know? It's not really hard to mark a target like an object or anything and then start shooting. But there are multiple things that you should be taking into consideration when playing Zain. One of the most important things that you need to have as a Zain player is situational awareness. And that comes into play when you really want to use Zain as it's supposed to be used. Now what I mean by that is using that airburst rifle needs a lot of situational awareness because you need to actually know where people are hiding. It really needs a lot of map knowledge based on the game mode that you're playing. For example, if you're playing Breakthrough, you're going to need a lot of knowledge about where people populate, where are the common places that people take cover behind, those kind of stuff. If you play Rush, you need the exact same information for that specific map. And if you're new to the game and you don't really have that knowledge, just by playing the game and being aware of what's going on around you, eventually you will learn those spots, and that makes things really easier for you when playing Zain. But just keep in mind that situational awareness actually plays a big role here. You need to know where people are. You need to know those covers. You need to get used to the weapon, the airburst weapon. And all of that comes into play when being a effective Zain player. Now, game modes that I personally find better for playing Zain are Rush and Breakthrough. Of course, you can always play Zain on Conquest, but it's really less likely for people to populate that much in a certain place behind a certain object in a game mode like Conquest, you know. Whereas in a game mode like Rush, the objectives are tight and close to each other, and there are so many people just populating in one place. The same goes for Breakthrough as well, but it's not as intense as Rush. Probably Rush is the perfect place for playing Zain, and it really doesn't matter what map you're playing in. Rush is always going to be the top game mode for playing Zain and getting those kills with the XM370. And Breakthrough comes after Rush because it's just a bit bigger. The objectives are just a bit wider. There's more space, but there's also a lot of people, especially in 128 player game modes. That's going to be a heaven, basically, for Zain players. Now, some people might ask if Zain is a defensive or an offensive specialist, and my answer to this is it can actually be both. So what's really good about Zain is the versatility that you can have with this specialist. Personally, when I play with Zain or literally any other specialist, I'm just a bit more offensive. That's how I play. That's how I've always played Battlefield or any FPS game. Now, what I do basically for being offensive is that I play the SPH explosive launcher, which is basically a sticky grenade, and you have 2 grenades every single time. You can also go ahead and replenish that. When I want to play offensively, I play with the SPH explosive launcher or the smoke grenade launcher. Now you can have that smoke as your main grenade and just go for the SPH explosive launcher to have some more firepower. That's what I basically do when I want to get offensive. But if you want to play just a bit more defensively, you can also go ahead and play with some like C5, maybe even Claymores. You can do that to cover your back. You can sit back with a DMR, for example, and every single time that you have the XM370 ready to roll, you take it out, get some kills with it from people that are behind cover, and go back to your DMR. That's what you're going to do. Also, Zain has the armor plate just like every other assault specialist, and it's going to really give you the edge regardless of you playing defensively or offensively. So you can also go ahead and make good use of that as well. So one thing's for sure, Zain is really a versatile specialist, and that's probably one of the reasons why I really like it, and I really like playing it. I haven't got the T1 mastery on it yet, but Zain is definitely one of my favorite assault specialists out there. And before I forget, as a assault specialist, it doesn't really matter which one of the 4 assault specialists you want to play. You will always have 3 extra magazines, and that's called the weapon proficiency. That's for assault class. So you're gonna have 3 extra magazines, and it's less likely for you to run out of ammo like mid gunfight. And that's all the more reason why people use assault specialists to go do flanks, to get kills, and you don't see a lot of assault players actually reviving even squad mates. So that's the logic behind it. Also, for the throwable, you have a lot of options, but in my opinion, if you want to go absolutely offensive, you can go ahead and play smoke. That way you're going to do flanks really easier. If you want to be like defensive just a bit more, you can have like an incendiary grenade, or probably maybe even a throwing knife. So if someone actually flanks you, there's an option that instantly kills them. That's an option as well. But generally speaking, for the offensive part, I really prefer smoke. Maybe even flashbang, like concussion grenade. That's going to do some interesting things for people who actually know how to use it. That's all about it. So here you have it, guys. All the basic things you needed to know about Zain. If you want to like get some more experience, because there are multiple things that you kind of only understand when you start playing with that specialist, you have to do this, okay? You have to start playing, you have to get good with these specialists, and then you're going to learn a few things yourself. I encourage people with more experience to go down in the comment section, let other people, let the new players know what they've learned about Zain by experience. So that really matters a lot to those new players. What I learned by experience was that situational awareness is the #1 factor of becoming a better Zain player. So I hope this video was helpful and hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, guys, stay cool.